Welcome into the Morris Shea Bridge Halftime Show. William Galloway, and tonight we're interviewing Coach Kyle Speer, the strength and conditioning coach at Mountain Brook High School. Coach, good to be with you.
Thank you.
So as we get into tonight's interview, I want to ask you a little bit about your career and then also some of the science of what you do and how you help our athletes. So briefly tell us, you've been here at Mountain Brook 2.5 years and kind of how you got here and the path of your career.
Well, I'm from Texas, and I played football at Abilene Christian. And when I was finished with my eligibility, I became a student assistant strength coach. I did that, and then I became an intern. I was at Arizona State University, and then on to, after that, Baylor University, University of Northern Iowa, Sam Houston State University, Georgia Southern, and then Tulane.
So after Tulane, you come here, and I want to say something because when you came here, and when you were here with Tulane, actually here on campus for about a week or two.
21 days.
21 days, 3 whole weeks. But I did an interview with a story with you, and I think it was so cool because you talked about Mountain Brook High School's facilities, and it's grown even since then. But
Right.
what we have really, you said, was second to none even at the high school level. And you've seen colleges, as we just heard, all over the country.
Yeah, I remember the interview, and you were talking about, I think one of the questions was, hey, is what we have adequate and everything? And I just remember complimenting you and said, I don't know who laid out, and we were in the other weight room, but, which is a smaller weight room than this one. And I said, we were in there, and I said, whoever laid it out, put some thought into the room and how it was laid out. And for what we were doing and what we needed, it was perfect.
Yeah.
And then, this room was a lot different then, in fact, because we didn't use this one. And I think in October of that year after we left, y'all redid this. And again, I had nothing to do with this weight room the way it was set up, but this is probably close to exactly how I would have set it up. Now, I've done some stuff now.
Sure.
Pretty close.
So tell me a little bit about those things, right? Because a lot of people hear strength and conditioning growing up here in Alabama. They hear that word, that phrase, and they think Scott Cochran yelling and screaming. But there's so much more that goes into it. So kind of debunk that myth for us and tell us what you do that's in and out of the weight room, not just for football, but for all of our student athletes.
Well, I mean, yelling and screaming can be a part of it, but that's, no matter who you are, it's an extremely, extremely small part. Mostly what we do is we just sit here and try to get kids better. Most of our kids that we work with are in the range of around 14 years old to at the most 18. And so if we can just get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and a little bit faster, and build a month to a month on month, and just keep doing that on the course of 3 or 4 years. I mean, that's really the goal, is to supplement their sport, whether it's football or basketball or bowling even, it doesn't matter. A little bit stronger, a little bit faster is, for the most part, always going to be better.
Is there somebody, and it's only been 2.5 years, but that stands out to you, even maybe this year on this team or maybe another program here at the high school, that stands out and really tells the story of what you try to do?
I think some of our seniors this year, those were the guys that were sophomores when I got here in June of 22. So I think if you look at some of our seniors, and nobody necessarily individual, but you just look at how they've grown in that time. And it's been, 2 years and maybe 5 months.
Yeah.
And just in that time, the changes they've gone through. And I remember when I got here in June, I was looking down at a lot of them from an eye level. And it's not that way anymore. Now I'm looking up to a bunch of them, or directly eye level. And, you had kids that weighed 130 pounds that are now, 190, 185, 190
Right.
pounds. And a lot of that's just a testament to those kids and their willingness to work hard. So as a group, that was my first group that's come through. But we've got, there's things that I did then that I've changed just that longer I've been here. But that group will always be a special group.
What translates from all your experience at the college level that you're able to do there that you can do here at the high school? Maybe because of some facilities we have, or because of the buy-in that you get from the kids? And because I know you can't do everything. It's two different body types and two different athlete types.
But you can get close, because here's the truth. They're humans, and they're male and they're female. And the biggest difference is their age. Here, we're in college, when you get them, for the most part, they're at least 18. Every now and then you'll get a 17-year-old. But they're at least 18. All the way up to a 24-year-old grown man or woman, 23, And those colleges are paying those kids, whether it's tuition or now NIL, to be there, minus the walk-ons. They're paying them to be there. So the weeding out, genetics is already won by the time I would see them. Okay, so flip that to high school. You're getting a 14-year-old to maybe 18, but
right.
for sure 17, where, and some of these kids are going to go play in college. I had a pretty big signing class yesterday with guys and girls, but most of them aren't. Just the numbers say most aren't. But there's things that you can do. Just working with them, it's different. It's slower, and sometimes slower is better. In college, if you go too slow, that can be bad because you're trying to develop them, and now it's sped up so much. But here we can really go slow cook them, so to speak, and teach them the right way. Here, some of our kids have never trained before. It's not a bad thing when they walk in, they don't have bad habits. So you show them the first time, and in a couple of weeks,
they have no habits.
They have no habit.
Right.
So you can. So there is good and bad to that. So you can teach them the way you want it done right the first time. There's advantage there.
As we wrap up our Marche Bridge halftime show, just want to give a quick nod to this season, right? We got 2 more quarters in this game, and as we're pre-recording, we don't know what's happened in this first half, but Gray and Wayne will have you covered in all of the coverage here on the broadcast. But want to ask you, just what's been special about this team and this season, and no matter the outcome tonight, what have you enjoyed about this team specifically?
Well, I mean, they're my first group, because here they start when you're a sophomore, and they might not be my first full group, because I guess next year would be my first full group from the freshman year on. But I kind of consider this my first full group. So just that in of itself is special. I think how far we've come, how many guys we've lost along the way. You know what I mean? And when I say lost along the way, I mean guys that quit.
Yeah.
And you just that for whatever reason, but these are the guys that stayed, and I just think that'll always be special, and the relationships I have with some of those guys.
And looking around Mountain Brook, you've got, kids come into 7th grade, there's over 100 kids that play, and we've got 24, 25 really strong seniors who've played really well all year long and throughout their careers, and people have contributed, and a lot of their peers who've played football along the way are supporting them in the stands, and we appreciate their support. But it's cool to see them matriculate and see the opportunities that we have, and hopefully after this second half, we'll have more opportunities next week. So, Coach, thank you so much for joining us on the halftime. Thank you for all you do for our kids, and looking forward to the second half. We'll take a quick commercial break and be right back. Head coach of Strength and Conditioning, Kyle Speer. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.